Hey now, this is Shay Thomas hitting you up. This is the health, wellness, and well-being. I don't even know the name of my audio blog right now, but I got some stuff that I really think is important. This is something that I think a lot of us are not paying close attention to the importance of family. Yes, you got a sister who betrayed you, or a brother who betrayed you, or your mom. At the end of the day, your bloodline and your DNA runs through those same people. And yeah, sometimes they do things to cause you to hate them or not even want to deal with them. I mean, it causes a lot of, a lot of things, especially when it comes to money. Money tends to separate the family. I remember a movie that I was watching called The Gods Must Be Crazy, and I thought that was the very beginning part. It's a very long movie, but the beginning of it was something that I thought was a great example of how family can be separated just by the most stupidest things. Like, we can't allow outside influence to infiltrate and break down a family. That's the reason why we have problems in our community as it is. Now, the beginning of the movie is a Coca-Cola bottle was dropped out of a plane, and it ended up in an African village. Now, the African village really has not been touched by any other type of society. They were living in grass huts. The women were walking around, bare-breasted. The children, everything was pretty much, for lack of a better word, primitive or just virgin, if that's even better. I don't know. It's like, it was just pretty much indigenous. So while one of the guys or one of the natives found the bottle, and he brought it back to the village, and everybody was trying to figure out what it was. When they didn't know what it was for, so they made up stuff. Some people used it to help clean. Some people used it to make music with. The kids was playing with it. So everybody found some great uses for it. So it became kind of valuable because they didn't know what the Coca-Cola bottle was, what the main purpose was. But they found something that, that actually they found a good purpose for it. Next thing you know, people were starting to fight over the Coca-Cola bottle because, one woman was like, well, I need it. And it was like, well, I need it. And then they were just arguing over it. Come to find out, somebody, I guess it got angry and busted somebody in the head. One of them, I haven't seen it in a while, but somebody got busted in the head. And it got to the point where that's where one of the natives was like, he realized that this bottle is evil. Let me drop it off the face of the earth. So he was walking toward the end of the earth, and then he got caught up in a whole bunch of other stuff. So anyway, so that's the beginning of the movie. But that point right there, I think is a great example of why we need to be mindful of the materialistic nature, the jealousies, those evil little demons that tend to exist that instigate the breakdown of the family. I was having a situation where, and a lot of times it's because it's the communication. Like, if we had healthy communication, we truly understood each other as a people, I think things will turn out to be a lot better for us. Okay, so I'm going to talk about the jail situation first. We have a lot of family members, as a black community, we have a lot of family members incarcerated. Now, without self-disclosing, I'm not even going to mention my personal situation. I'm going to mention that there are a lot of people in jail right now that are not getting any type of assistance on the outside. Counselors, from what I've been hearing, tend to neglect those that don't have family members that are not supportive. So while they're in there, if you don't have anybody from the outside calling in saying what's going on, they're not going to really care about that family member because they figure nobody really loves you, and you obviously been starting trouble all your life where you broke down your family situation. So why should they care to work for you? So some people tend to get ignored while they're in there, and that's not really fair, but it happens. So it's important that the families not think that the families visit, and if you can't visit, make sure you write letters, and you check in on that person, regardless if they're in there for a long time. Sometimes it could be helpful for the well-being of that person while they're in there, depending. I mean, they may not be in there for a lifetime sentence, but if they're coming out within a couple of years or whatever. So I mean, even the short-term stays, I mean, I know people have been in there for 2 years or whatever. So I mean, there's a lot of times they will neglect you in there. The other thing is that I've heard things. I mean, I've heard some gross things on the inside that's going on. And if you have a family member in there, you have to, make sure you stay in touch with that person so that they don't have to be exposed to a lot of the mistreatment that's in there. So let's remember our brothers and sisters on the inside, and pray for them. Sometimes some people make bad decisions. Sometimes some people don't realize what they're doing at the time, and they get caught in, breaking the law. And it's unfortunate, but, we have to try to at least support them and, let them know that they're still important. The other thing is the breakdown of the family also can come with, I guess the generation gap is an issue also. You got the teenagers versus the adults, and it shouldn't be that way. If your child is rebelling against you, I blame the adult. I really do, and I'm gonna tell you why. A lot of times, adults is they have their friends that tell them. Well, first of all, if you had a healthy communication with your child, they would know that peer pressure exists, and they'll be educated on why they shouldn't do what they do, and they should have a trust value. There should be a way that they know that if they come to you, that yes, you may be upset, but you're going to handle it diplomatically so that they can grow from it. Not that you're going to flip out, you're going to do this or whatever. Your child, if they have no one to talk to, they're going to talk to their friends, and their friends are going to tell them stupid things to do. They really will. I know for a fact, because when I was a teenager, I did not have my mom to talk to. So I know that there was a lot of things that I was being told to do that I'm like, oh my God, stupid was leading. It was like the blind leading the blind, and stupid was leading the stupid. So we need to make sure there's a healthy communication within between parent and child. There was a situation that happened recently where a father shot a teenage boy who he found in his daughter's room. Now, a lot of fathers was like, that could have been me. That could have been me. Anybody trying to help my daughter, whatever. And even my dad was like very upset when he found out that I had a boyfriend or whatever. The thing is, this is going to happen. That their hormones are going to be raging. They're going to find somebody attractive. This is natural. So why don't you prepare them for this? Why don't you talk to them? A lot of times fathers don't even they don't want to even talk about it. Why can't you educate your daughter on the game? When a young man tells you he loves you, you don't hear that shit. You're supposed to watch for his. You better not be talking to none of these boys out here. Okay. But if you're not around, if you're working and he's in her classroom with her 8 hours a day, constantly in her head, and then her friends are telling her he likes you, you should talk to him. In her mind, she was like, okay, I'll do it within balance. But when it gets to that point where they're by themselves and they're kissing and their hormones are starting to rage even more, all that value stuff goes. A guy is not necessarily authentic. He may like you, but the first, in these boys' mind at this age, they're 14, 15, they just want to put their stuff in somebody. They want to see what having sex is like. They don't care about love. They're not trying to get married. They're not trying to do that. So if you don't forewarn your daughter on how to shut game down in the beginning, don't be upset when he has mastered mastered the game of talking your daughter into letting him in the house and just putting the head in. You could warn her ahead of time and let her know that these boys are not authentic. So sometimes you have to you gotta set that precedence in the household, because that these are the things that you have to arm your children with before they go out there in the world. You got to get them ready for drugs. A lot of times, these kids are not just using marijuana and smoking cigarettes like back in the days. These kids are popping mollies. They're taking all kind of Xanax and ecstasy, and they're bringing it to school, and they're sharing it with their friends, and they're high in the classroom, and it probably wears off by the time, or they'll just cut school and you won't even know it. So you have to forewarn your children about the dangers of getting addicted to drugs that you might have to take them to get detox on. They don't even realize, especially heroin. Oh my goodness. So I mean, that's not easy to get off. So all I'm saying is that you have to make sure that you speak it to them every day, where they're telling you by verbatim everything. So when you're sure that they know and they still go do it, I mean, just to make sure. I mean, I'm not saying that they're not going to listen, but you got to do everything in your power to make sure that they are well rehearsed on what to say when they're approached by peer pressure. Communication is the key when it comes to stuff like that. A lot of times we don't have that with our children. My other thing is that when it comes to family, is getting together more. If I was at a family gathering not too long ago, and sometimes you don't even realize how much of the same page you are on with your family members. It's very refreshing to know that you have people that think just like you, that's on your team. Sometimes we search outside of our own family structure and find like minds, but you'll be surprised that within your own family dynamics that you may have somebody that's like-minded. You may not find everybody that thinks the same way you do. I mean, sometimes you may agree to disagree, but you will also have somebody who actually, so it's always good to get to know what's going on. The other thing is that in the future, I mean, I don't know where this country is going with them owing so much money, and the healthcare looking crazy, and the job situation's crazy. They shipping all the jobs out. You're going to need a team of people to invest with for your own survival. And if everybody's mad because she took money out of my wallet when I was 17 years old, I'll never forgive her, or he stole this, or he was talking about me behind my back, and you're bickering over small stuff with your family members, you're headed for disaster, because nobody's prepared. No one is prepared. No one has any type of survival things packed up in their homes. Especially, I know black folks. I mean, there are some black folks that do, but there should be more. We don't have any system. You need to have water stored up where it's not recycled. Where you go, oh gosh, anyway, you should have enough water stored up that it should last. Each person should have at least 2 gallons in the household, and you should have everything: a first aid kit, with filter bottled water. You should have a lantern, all type of survival things in your home. And you should also have a safety plan, because if something breaks out at your home, then y'all scrambling to try to get it together. You don't even, now you got to move to your aunt's house, but she wasn't really prepared for y'all to move in because she didn't foresee this. You know, I mean, up in Colorado, I have a homeboy who, he's Caucasian, and his kids already know how to shoot guns. All right, and he tells me a lot of stuff. I mean, they have communities out there where everybody's related, but they are actually, I forgot what the name of it, but they have it where they have their own on that. But it's just it's about preparedness, and it's about everyone being on the same page. And you know, family is very, 9 times out of 10, you know, you may find people on your same page, but you don't really know how loyal they are to you, because some people will probably see you as somebody brand new that's expendable. You know, they may coming up, you wasn't, you know, shooting in the gym with me. You know, like a lot of times they will work with you, and you know, but if you really, it's always good to be surrounded around people who have known you for years, have watched you grown up, you guys have done business together or whatever, where there's some type of connection. So I mean, hold on to the people that are there, learn to forgive for their, because nobody's perfect. Talk it out, and become the bigger person, and know that it could have been you that did that, and they could have been mad at you and whatever. Everybody's not perfect, so if you can try to hold on to what you have, you know, your family may be dysfunctional, things may be a little, you know, everybody may be not on the same accord, but try to build strong bonds starting now with your family. It's very important. Try to connect on any kind of level if you can. I mean, I have family that, you know, sometimes they don't want to talk to me. I don't know why. But at the end of the day, if it came down to it, I already know that they got my back. And if that's all you can get from them is a loyal accord when it comes to each other's survival, when you know that they care about you, they don't want you dead, but they can't stand you in their house for more than an hour. That's the type of thing you might have to just work with, you know. So I mean, it's important. It's important for your own survival. So that's my take on family and why it's important to try to bring it back together. And it's very helpful. I mean, it may not be successful. You can keep trying, but I mean, as the United States of America and even the world starts to look a little less attractive, you know, to live in, you may want to try to, you know, because it's getting rough out here and we need each other. So we got to start looking at the worst case scenarios, which is actually a pretty good series book that you might want to Google. I think they're selling it on Amazon.com. Worst case scenarios on how to respond in certain situations of disaster. They have a whole bunch of books out. I may have one. I know I had brought one. So, but there's more of them out there. So it's just something that you might want to look into. Anyhow, so thank you for listening. I hope I've said something that may help you. And if you have any comments about anything that I said, or any type of gripes or anything about that I said, you know, steel sharpens steel, if that's the saying that I'm looking for, where, you know, if you may be able to enlighten me on something that I said that may kind of been off. I'm not perfect, you know, neither are you, but you may know something that might change my insight, and vice versa. So feel free to leave me a comment wherever I post this, and thank you for listening. Have a nice day. Take care.